Going into the draft, Scoot Henderson was considered the best prospect after Victor Wembanyama. He became the youngest ever G League player at 17, and he had been touted as a generational prospect. When the Hornets got the second pick, everyone was pushing for them to take Scoot. However, Charlotte ended up selecting Brandon Miller. This decision was met with a lot of backlash, so much so that Miller was booed by Hornets fans after being drafted. Fast forward to today, and Brandon Miller is thriving while Scoot has struggled mightily. At one point, Scoot was viewed as a can't-miss prospect, but now people are calling him a bust. In today's video, I'm going to highlight what's went wrong, where he can improve, and how I expect Scoot's career to pan out. Before we get into it, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and your support goes a long way. With all of that being said, let's get into the video. The most noticeable thing with Scoot is that he hasn't adjusted to the level of competition in the NBA. The NBA is filled with the most skilled and athletic players, so you can't get by on those things alone. At lower levels, those qualities can take you a long way, but you have to be able to think the game to succeed in the league. Scoot had many out-of-control moments in the G League, but they were overshadowed by all the hype. Scoot is extremely athletic, and with a 6'9" wingspan, he can surprise a lot of people with his finishing ability. However, there were many instances in the G League where he drove to the rim without a plan. Scoot has drawn comparisons to Ja Morant, but what Ja has that Scoot doesn't is an in-between game. Ja is so dangerous driving to the basket, so naturally defenses try to take that away from him. Ja is still able to get to the rim at will, but when he can't, he's able to counter with a short pull-up or floater. Scoot showed some ability as a mid-range shooter with the Ignite, but he hasn't gone to it that often in the NBA. Just 17.6% of his shots have come from 3 to 10 feet, and only 11.8% have come from 10 to 16 feet. It feels like Scoot makes predetermined decisions when he drives, which leads to forced shots and turnovers. Everyone says that his three-point shooting is his biggest weakness, but to me, it's his inability to read and react to the defense. Scoot has tremendous body control, and he's already had some incredible finishes as a rookie. Even still, he'll have to take more floaters and mid-range jumpers to keep the defense honest. On the defensive end, Scoot is struggling like most rookies do. He wasn't expected to be a great defender in the NBA, but he can definitely cut down on his fouls. Scoot averages the most fouls in the league with 4.1 per game. This is really bad, especially when you consider that Scoot hasn't started in every game. He's simply too aggressive at the moment, and the refs have picked up on it. He'll also try too hard to make a play on the ball when his teammates are in good position defensively. Luckily for Blazers fans, Scoot is just 19, and his recent move to the bench will help him in the long run. In a game against Detroit, Scoot injured his ankle and had to sit out the next 9 games. In a recent interview, Scoot said this about watching from the sidelines. "I just seen a whole bunch of things that I didn't see while I was playing. Being more patient, watching Skylar and Malcolm, how patient they are in certain situations, and just trying to piggyback off that. It's a common misconception that a young player can't develop without heavy minutes. There's this idea that if you throw a player into the fire, they'll figure out how to fend for themselves. However, that strategy can also hurt a player's confidence. When you come in off the bench, you can let the game come naturally to you because you won't feel like you have to prove your worth as a starter. You're also able to analyze the pace and flow of the game and have a plan of attack once you check in." Scoot has still been inconsistent since moving to the bench, but he's had arguably the 3 best games of his career in that role. He scored 13 points and shot well from 3 against Milwaukee and Indiana, and last night he had 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists on 40% shooting from 3. Over the next few months, Scoot can learn behind Malcolm Brogdon and play with less pressure coming off the bench. When Brogdon is inevitably traded at the deadline, Scoot will be better prepared to take on a starting role. Obviously, we want to see results right away, but I see this slow and patient approach to Scoot's development paying off. As I mentioned earlier, Scoot was viewed as a generational prospect in the eyes of many. While we definitely throw that label around too loosely, realistically it's not going to stop. Calling someone a generational prospect puts a ton of pressure on them, but it gets fans excited about said player. It's the same reason why big market teams are always playing on national TV, regardless of how good they are. The average fan needs to be drawn to someone or something in order to tune in and watch a game. Obviously, the title of this video indicates that I believe in Scoot Henderson, but I've never considered him a generational prospect. There's a lot to like about his game. However, when you're 6'2" and don't have a reliable 3-point shot, that limits you quite a lot. I don't think Scoot will become a superstar, but I do expect him to be a very good player that makes multiple All-Star games. Scoot is a gifted athlete, but what makes him stand out is his passion for the game. When Scoot was in high school, his family built their very own gym, which gave him 24-hour access to a court. He took full advantage of this and would work out as early as 6 a.m. or as late as 2 a.m. He clearly loves the game, and you can see that just by watching him. Whether he's making a play himself or for a teammate, Scoot shows tons of energy. He wants to help his team win, which is probably why he can be out of control on offense and over-aggressive on defense. Scoot is very talented, he wants to get better, and he has great mentors in Malcolm Brogdon and Chauncey Billups. On top of that, history is on Scoot's side. Since 2017, most guards drafted in the top 5 have panned out. From 2017 to 2022, 13 guards were picked in the top 5, and 7 of them have already been All-Stars. Guys like Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green haven't reached star status, but they have tons of upside. The point is, scouts have done a great job of identifying top guard talent. Scoot was considered the best guard in his draft class, and recent history has shown that that means a lot. Scoot is extremely young, and we need to give him more time before we call him a bust or write him off. It may take a few seasons, but I expect him to adjust to the NBA. I can see him averaging 20 plus points and 7 to 8 assists in his prime, and making multiple All-Star games in the process. If Scoot can reach this level, Portland will be very happy that they drafted him. Anyways, that's going to be all for today's video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. With all of that being said, I'm out, and I'll see you in the next video.